Hey there, so I just want to make a quick video showing how I solve swords in Trinity Avowed. I pretty much use the diagrams. I don't know where these originally came from, but I use these diagrams here to basically quickly identify which sword I need to get cleaved by. And there's a lot of text in here, and there's also a lot of text in some of the other diagrams that we have. But I wanted to show via some clips how I actually go about very quickly solving the different sword variations. And really, it gets broken down into a three-step process. And I'm going to let one of these play out now. The one you're going to see is the Facing You version of the sword. I'm just going to let this play out once, and then we'll go back and we'll talk over it real fast. Right. Okay. So for all of these swords, you're obviously always going to have a debuff for the color for the element that's on you. In this case here, I believe this is just one of the simple ones where it's at the start of the fight and you don't have the additional brand. But they can all be treated the same way. I mean, at the end of the day, you just need to calculate what colors you need to counteract what you currently have plus whatever the brand is. So in this case, I only have two of the blue, so obviously I need 2 red. So before the mechanic even comes out, I'm sitting here saying to myself over and over again, 2 red, 2 red, 2 red, so that when the clones come up, I immediately know which clone I have to go to. So during this, I'm just saying to myself, 2 red, 2 red, 2 red. I'm waiting for the red to come up. All right, so all the colors appeared, and I see 2 red over here on the left. I know that regardless of where the swords are going to be facing, it doesn't matter. It doesn't matter at all. I'm just going to go every single time for the sword mechanic, going to go to whatever clone I've been calling out in my head. I'm going to go position myself right under that clone, and I'll show you that here. So boom, I go right over, position myself under the clone. And this is where you need to just look to see whether whether the sword is cleaving towards you on the south, or if the sword's going to be cleaving left or right. In this case, it's cleaving on the south side here. So I know that for this, to resolve this mechanic, the only safe spots for me are going to be this left square here. I can draw on the screen a bit. This left square and this right square. Those are the only 2 spots that I could possibly go to. So to resolve this, you do one simple thing. You look directly across the arena at the boss on the far side, the sword on the far side. I'm going to highlight that here, this boss here. You're just going to look at that one, and you're going to look at what side the sword is on and go to the opposite one. Whenever it's this pattern here where your clone is facing you and you're doing the left or right, the clone opposite from you will also always be cleaving either the left or the right, and you need to do the opposite of that. So here you can see the clone directly across is cleaving the left side, so I'm just going to go to the right side. Let that play out here. Boom. Mechanic solved. Gonna let it play out. Cleave, easy. So that's for the facing you side. I find this one the easiest one to do. If you get this, it's really simple because it's just that once look across. I have another same exact style of solving the swords, but slightly different clip on a different side here. I know I go to my clone. I notice that it's cleaving the south side. I stand looking across to see which side's being cleaved. I know that the left side is not being cleaved because you can see it from here. There's no sword up on this side. Therefore, I know I'm standing in the safe spot. Well, the safe spot to resolve my element. In this case, I had the brand cold +2, so I need the fire +2. Boom. All right. So that's the easier of the 2 in my opinion. The other one, that can be resolved almost exactly the same way, with a slight variation, is the one where she's cleaving one side or the other. So instead of facing you on the south, she'll be cleaving either the left side or the right side. But the initial bit can be resolved the same way. Again, before the mechanic goes out, I'm sitting here, I'm saying to myself, okay, I need 2 red, and I'm just repeating that over and over again. And I'm going to look for the 2 red clone. Boom. There it is on the right. I'm going to head over to my clone. I notice at this point that the clone is a side clone, so it's cleaving the right this time. Again, it could cleave left or right if it's a side clone, but in this case, it's cleaving the right. So I know that I need to start on the right side of this clone. So I'm going to start on the right side of this clone. And then what I'm going to do is I'm going to walk forward into the 2 middle squares until I'm in a safe zone. So you know that either this square has to be safe or this square has to be safe. That's the only way this mechanic can work. So I need to move either forward 1 square or 2 squares. Almost a little bit like chess. But in this case, I'm just going to walk forward. That's the only thing you have to do with this mechanic. I'm going to walk forward once. I walk forward into this square. I know that this is not a safe square because the clones on the sides, this one is cleaving south. So I know it can't be this square. I am in big danger if I stay here. So I continue to move forward again another square. You can see it here a little bit more obvious with what side is safe and what side is not. And that's really all it is to it. Again, I'll play this one out on its own without pausing it so you can see the process. Go to the right side of the clone. I move forward 1 square, not safe. I move forward another square. This is the safe square. I get cleaved. And that's it. And that's the only 2 ways, really, to do this mechanic. Again, this is just kind of a verbal explanation of the diagrams you see here. Same concept. If it's facing you, you know that... Oh, sorry, that was out of view. You know if it's facing you that you're either the left or the right square. And the way you figure that out is you look directly across. Again, facing you, look directly across, figure out what's the safe square. For the left-right, again, you start on the side that your clone is cleaving. You walk forward either 1 square or 2 square, depending on what is safe or what is not. Same thing here. You walk forward either 1 square or 2 square, depending on what is safe or what is not. And that's really all it is. Hopefully this helped a little bit. Maybe with the actual video clips and some audio over it to help you understand how to do swords a little bit better.